Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Outlanders. We're here in the shopping district and we have got quite a bit to do here today. Firstly, we want to get ourselves a bit more of a campaign slogan, so we want to get ourselves more things to get the people to vote for us, as well as just put up a little bit of a polling booth, at least to start up here, or not exactly a polling booth, or something to show our support for the various candidates. So let's get started on that, and that we are going to first select a place to put in some custom roads for the time being. So I reckon we need it to be somewhere where it's visible and yet at the same time it's not too in the way. And over here looks like the best spot. So if we can get a couple of custom roads for us, just showcase our build style and what we plan to do with the shopping district in general, we can get ourselves a nice start on our platform. So let's head back to the base and get started on that. Now what I thought was we're going to build about 2 or 3 sample roads. So we're going to build our red design first, a kind of nether type I suppose, and for that we're going to be using red nether wart and some netherrack, as well as andesite, granite and granite varieties. So if we make ourselves a 5 wide road, because I think that's how wide I want the road to be, we can get an idea of what we want to do here. And there's a bit of a cave under here, or possibly a creeper hole. I'd say a creeper hole actually. So yeah, we need to dig this bit out and then we can see what we can do here. Now the important thing is not to overdo any of the colors, because that is not going to make it look good at all. So we also need to put in some lighting as well, and I'm thinking every third block, so 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, we don't want it to be just like this, because we're going to cover it with carpet, and if the carpet is regular, that's going to make it look a little bit weird, I think. And so this is what we've got as a sample first road. It's probably not the best looking thing in the world. We'll go and granite there. It's not the best looking thing in the world, but it serves its purpose as a design. Now obviously we probably could get a better road for this, but I think it looks reasonable. It's not the best looking one. We probably could actually get some red concrete powder and red other stuff in here, but we can deal with that for the time being. So let's see, this we want to get a sign and say, let's see, sample road 1 magpies. Vote magpies. There we go. So that is one of the sample roads, and we just need to build another 2. So let's clear out the area and build some more, and I'll probably just skip to the 5 roads being built, or the 3 roads being built. And with a little bit of time passed, we've got ourselves the 3 roads. Now of them I really do like the grey road the best. I think you get a little bit more options with it, especially with the brick and the mossy brick. I suppose I could have done brick here as well, but I didn't. Actually should probably do that, but anyway, we've got ourselves the 3 roads, and these are just a sample of what we can do. So vote magpies for mayor, and one of these roads, or perhaps 2 of them or 3 of them, will be selected to be scattered all the way through the shopping district. And to cap off this part of the episode, we've got ourselves a little sign, mags for mayor, better roads, and of course this is the sample of those better roads we can build. So I think we've just about got what we want to do today after we kill off these horses. Yes, Char would be proud, even though I probably should be riding them first. So it says horse was killed by flying magpies, which is what he does a lot. Anyway, now, do we want to build a bit of a polling station? Do we want to say who supports what or not? Nah, I think I've got too much back at my own base to finish off, and this is probably enough to go on for now. It should hopefully swing a few more votes our way. After that little mayoral expedition, we've got ourselves back at the base, and you might notice that the server is running a little bit smoother. We have once again changed a server, which is just been a little bit of annoyance, so I haven't been able to get on the server for a week or so, which has led me to kind of forget what I was planning to do. However, as part of the server upgrade, I have noticed that quite a few of the people on the server have been mentioning that my base is quite laggy, indeed very, very laggy. So I think we're going to be fixing on that. I believe most of the trouble is because of these things over here, the what do you call them? What do we call them? We call them the Trident Killers, and there's a lot of them about, as well as these silly guardians always escaping the Trident Killers. Now, I've got 24 of these Trident Killers, which means I'm going to need to figure out a way to kill out the Guardians without using Trident Killers, which does mean this thing isn't going to be producing any more XP, but of course I've got my XP farm underneath, which is of course the trading hall, which is not on this level, but on this level. The crop farm works quite brilliantly, and we get ourselves quite a number of crops to repair our tools, get experience, and all that jazz. Now, I've hopped into Creative to quickly show you the idea I have for my Trident Killers. Now, I'm not exactly sure how high these things are top to bottom, but I should have enough room. Now, if I have the water going like this, it should be okay if I only have one high. Signs, and then lava, and then there must be two wide, because if I have one, the Guardians don't drop their items, they'll get burned. So if we have the Guardians come in, let's just spawn a couple in. Okay, that's a couple. And you can see they're going to start bouncing, well, you can sort of see they're going to start bouncing around. Yeah, you can see there, they're going to start bouncing around, and eventually their stuff will drop into here. So that's a rather efficient way of killing them. Although, of course, it means I don't get experience, which is, I suppose, not too bad. However, I think that design of the farm, the lava-based farm, is going to mean that I'm not going to get heads. I believe the heads only drop if they're killed by a player, and since the Trident Killers are effectively killed by a player, they have the same effect. So it does mean I'm going to stop getting Guardian hits, but that's not too much of a worry, at least for me. Now, looking at this, I think I may have underestimated where things are going to be able to go, because we've got the water here, signs there. Even if we have the lava there, we need two spaces, 1, 2, and that's where the ice is. Now, of course, we can't take out this block here on this level, because that means we're not going to be able to get materials. It's going to be even worse on these levels if I can quickly get up onto this bit. So, on this level, actually it's the same. So, yeah, it's the same. So that doesn't matter too much. So we're going to have to get rid of the packed ice and put hoppers on this, I think. It's a little bit difficult to think about. If we put the hoppers there, we might, yeah, actually that might work, because then we put the hoppers 1, 2, 3 around there, under where the ice is, and that hopefully should pick up. There may be some bits that get lost, which is going to be a bit of a problem. We'll have to think about that, but for the time being, we would want to start getting rid of these Trident Killers, because they are really, well, not for me, they're causing a bit of lag for other people, and I don't want that anymore. So let's start getting rid of all these Trident Killers and putting in lava. I've just encountered another problem with the design I'm trying to go for now, because this thing is not going to get powered unless it's not going to fire off the things unless there's an observer tick. Because if we come over to here with this particular thing, the cycle of this thingamabob also fires off this when this piston is fired. It is detected by the observer, which then points into that. So that actually helps things there. So that's going to be quite annoying to fix as well. But if I want to reduce the lag, this is the things I'm going to have to take. And here we go. We've got ourselves one completed module. Now you can't quite see it, but I've got the water going here and here, because I think this is just the top spot they can spawn. So I want to be a little bit more careful. Then we've got signs, lava here, signs here, nothing here, I think as well. Or I forgot exactly where, but so signs here and nothing here, and of course the hoppers gathering everything and going into here. So as we build these things, if we see hoppers here, Guardian stuff going here, we know it works. Now I really, really hope this thing works, because otherwise I'm going to have taken out this for nothing. Actually, what I might do is leave it for a little while and see what happens. And just as I completed that business with Mirror, which I didn't record, she basically needed some diamond leggings, and I sold her some, which I got from the end. Anyway, you can see in this chest, or this hopper, we've got ourselves some prismarine stuff, which is encouraging. So that is a very good sign, and now we just need to get ourselves the remaining 24 done. So I'm going to put on some music to listen to myself, not put it in here so I can avoid copyright issues. So I'm going to, just put on some music and get rid of all these Trident Killers and put in the rest. And there we go. It took about an hour or so to finish off that thing, one episode of a certain TV show I've been watching. And yeah, it's pretty good. You can see over there just in the corner, or you could see, there was a guardian in there, and you can see it's just bouncing up and down and getting killed. So not sure if this is going to be more efficient than our old design. I suspect it is going to be slightly better. Now, so I think it's going to be slightly more efficient, which means we might need to get ourselves a slightly better storage system, but we'll worry about that in the future. Well, it appears I have been tickled by the tag. That's right, I am once again been tagged. It's been quite a while since we've been it, and we've got ourselves quite a few new rules. So if we look in the rule book, we can see we cannot tag the member, we need to wait a bit longer, we need to replace the stuff, we can't tag someone's AFK, we can't remove any new rules, and here's the rule that we just followed. If we've been tagged, we must say I've been tickled by the tag, and of course a new rule, you need to give the one you tag a mob head. It's going to be a little bit interesting when we get around to that. I'm not sure which one of these I'm going to give away. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out later. It's been a few days since the last clip, and I have already lost the tag book, which is a little bit silly because I keep telling people they shouldn't leave the tag book and then I go do it myself, so not good at all. But I believe we've still got the tag somewhere around here. I just hope I haven't lost that thing too, because I don't exactly have I do have the resources to replace it, just don't want to have to replace it so soon. So I guess we'll have to look for that as well. Is it that one? Yes it is. There we go. So I've still got the tag. Excellent. So that wasn't what we're going to do now. What we're going to do now is find a place for some super smelters, because one of the projects I want to do in the future involves getting rid of all this sand and making it into glass, or at least pushing back the glass wall about 4 or so blocks to allow a nice circular passageway, which we're going to explain in that episode when we get to actually building that one. It's going to be a lot of progress then. But it does mean we need to get ourselves a super smelter and find a big place for it. Now, one of the things I want to do is make it a 16 long furnace array instead of 15, because 16 just makes it a little bit easier since all the things stack by 16. So that should make it a little bit easier. Now, we're going to have struggles because down here there isn't exactly a nice place for it if I want to keep my passageways the way they are, like this, and continuing on, circling like this, and so on like this. So I'm not exactly sure down here is the best place for it. And I do want these passageways to go out into the middle of the ocean as well, which is going to complicate matters. However, there is another place we can do it. And that place is over here on this unused bit of land. Now, it is, as I said, unused, so I should be able to fit in places, and it should be able to fit. So if we stick in, say, 16, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That does fit, and I don't think there's quite enough room to put a second 16, but we could just as easily put another one here, 2, 3. We'll just quickly put that in. We should end up with 32 like that. So there is room to do that, and then if I have a couple of these, one here, and then one over here, because these are the two large bits, then I'll come around and do the same on this side here and this side here, making one of them smokers instead of furnaces. That should fit quite easily or quite well, and that should give me a lot of super smelters. One of the things is that I want to be able to put all the stuff in one area. So I just put, say, coal here, or buckets of coal, or whatever, buckets of lava, or things like that, and then the things itself, and then all the furnaces smelted up and output the stuff into a bottom chest, which is basically the idea of a super smelter. So if I can have something like that, even up here, something goes up here, and then it goes into the 4 arrays, that should be even better. So quite a lot to think about. I do want as many furnaces hooked into this as possible. I did try playing around with my storage area and fitting in a solution for super smelters, but it just didn't fit. There was just no way I could make it fit and look good. So I've decided to fit in it here. I may not do the entire full 64 lots of smelters, but I definitely will be doing at least 32 here, and maybe another one over there. We'll see. I do want to keep some of these spaces free for more use, so we'll have to see how we go. At any rate, I've got myself a fairly reasonable start on this. I just need to make sure that this all fits, because this might be a little bit squishy down here. It's got to have hoppers in here, and then hoppers going across there. So yes, it'll just fit. Thankfully, I've timed this just right. Now, what I want to do as well is have a single input chest. So we'll have, say, let me see, let's just put this here temporarily. We'll have, say, a chest over here for coal or for whatever fuel we have, and then of course we'll have a chest below it and perhaps a little bit forward to make sure we got the hoppers correct. A chest like so, to allow us to put in the other one. I'm really bad at placing these things, aren't I? But yes, we'll have something like that kind of array, and then hoppers going into here and across. That should work, although I might need to put these a little bit higher. Shall have to see. I've now run into the problem that I knew I was going to run into, which is that this signal can only go up to 15 blocks, but if I want it to be 16, when I place this redstone here, you can see it's not going to be powered. Even if we were to put a block into it, it's not going to work, I believe, because this is, let's just try and put some coal into here, you can see it's, wait a minute, it's all going to go into here. You can see there, 8 there, no coal in there. So you can see it's all gone into here, so that means if we put anything into here, it's all going to drop down into here, which is not good. So we're going to have to figure out a new way to do this, and one that's actually going to work. I've just had a brilliant idea which I think is going to really help this thing. So what we're going to do is put a break in between the choppers. So there's a 8 here and an 8 there, and that should help things. So let's just make sure we got that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A break, and then what we need to do is along this redstone line, which we're still going to need to put in, we put in a repeater, and that should repeat the signal and allow anything to go through here as well. So hopefully this works. I just need to test it because I haven't actually tested this in survival, but it should work. So put a thing there, put a thing there, as well as, where is it? Here. And then we need the redstone lamp, of course, or redstone torch I should say, and we're good to go. And now comes the big test. If we put in 16 here, we should see eventually 1 in there. Oh wait, I'm missing this. And there we go. So they should see hoppers in there, and this one all the way across to here, and they should all have gone through, and we should see no coal in here whatsoever. So we should see 1 in each in there. Wait a minute, did that actually go through? Oh wait, we had a hopper. That didn't work. But if we go here, wait a minute, what the heck is going on here? This has been really interesting because the consistent thing I'm getting is that these two end furnaces are not getting their resources, which seems to indicate to me that these chests aren't being powered correctly. But all it's doing is just sending them across, and then it's sending them all the way across, but for some reason those two aren't working. It's a little bit odd and I can't figure out why. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more testing, but otherwise all the other ones are working fine. It's just these two end ones, which is odd. Really, really odd. Alrighty, I've tried one more thing. I've tried putting this down by 1 block, and this starts to power this. Let's hope this works, because if it doesn't, I'm going to be completely out of ideas. And tests, and didn't. That one didn't. That one did. So it's just the same thing all over again. This is really frustrating. I've come into a creative world to do a quick test, and I just cannot understand why it's not working in the server, because you can see I had some coal going through. We got 5 there, which is a little bit wrong. But yeah, we had 4, 4, 4. Some of these, they should all have 4, because I had 64. So why do some of these have 5? Okay, some of these are a little bit wrong. So you can see this is just a little bit glitchy. I just don't understand why. It's really a bit of a question why, but I'm pretty sure I had all these pistons facing the right way. But either way, this redstone is just buggy. Really, there's one problem. Okay, let me just try this again. Yes, this is turning into a really, really weird. Even when I had just 64, some of these still seem to be putting out a bit more, even though some of these might actually be from my other time. But okay, so this side seems fine. It's just getting it past here that seems a problem. I really don't know what the problem is. I'm really going to have to do some investigation and some redstone mechanics. So I guess I'm going to cut here for a bit and do a fair bit of investigation and looking into this and see what I can do to make this super smelter actually work. It might be time to admit defeat and say there isn't going to be a 16 long super smelter because the redstone just isn't going to fit. It's really, really annoying. I'm just really annoyed it's going to be not 16 because last season I had a lot of trouble trying to smelt things that were, multiples of 16, so 16, 32, 48, 64. But 15 obviously goes 15, 30, 45, 60, which is not quite the same. So I think what I'm going to do here is just make this into a 15 wide super smelter and leave it at that, and that should do me for the time being. I do want to make sure I test it though, but it should work, which is more than I can say with a 16 super smelter. So let's get this thing finally built, and we're never going to do a 16 smelter again, at least not this season, unless I can actually work out how to do one with all the redstone. So a lot to do. Well, it took a fair bit of the episode, but I think I've got this all done. The redstone's all in place, the hoppers are all in place, the smelters are all going, or should be all going, and I've got myself a nice platform in which to be doing things. Now I put the coal on top here because I want to be able to I want it to be able to be like this. If I had the coal down here, it would be blocked by other things and it'd just be a whole mess of things. So this is all good. Now I'm not entirely happy with this, but there's not much I can do with the redstone being visible, so I guess I'm just going to have to leave that for the time being. So what I think I'll do is, off camera of course, I think I'm going to build another one of these over here and possibly another one or two. I'm not yet sure because I need to get a lot more iron and things before I start smelting all this stuff. So with not much further ado, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we're definitely going to be tagging someone, possibly Stellar Chip or maybe Sharp Glitter, who was on earlier today. We'll possibly be tagging one of those people in the next episode, so keep watching for a most excellent tag, which will probably be just me slapping them with it, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.